Welcome to the show, Jennifer Gellas.
Hi, Ricky.
What's up?
Hey.
We made it happen.
I'm here.
Okay, so let's get into it because we had a lot to cover today.
Yes.
So I'm trying to buy a house right now, and I did have an accountant say that. So all she said was she can make my business income look like W-2 income.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
You have heard of that?
Yes.
So
With tricky lenders.
with tricky lenders. So
With lenders that really know what they're doing.
that's what I'm
And manipulate and
yeah,
do all
make
of-
it look right. Because all you're trying to do is just prove that you can afford this house. I know I can.
Right.
We're making a $4,000 rent
But
payment
a lot
right
of
now.
people have to restructure how they, formulate their finances
Right.
to be able to afford something. Because we all run our finances very differently.
Yeah, are you saying like on paper or like literally in real life?
In real life,
Right.
we manipulate.
Right.
We all do.
Right.
At least the smart ones are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on paper, when you go to buy a house and you're trying to qualify, then you have to restructure things and you have to work with a lender who can like work backwards to, restructure you.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right. Most
so
people
I
wouldn't.
just heard this for the first time and I was like, oh my God, if they can make, like the business did well last year. Like I got a bank statement loan approval up to $1.5 million. Just couldn't make the down payment on a bank statement loan.
But most people don't know that they need to actually talk to somebody ahead of time and pre-plan before they start, looking for a property. So if they talk to a realtor like me,
Yeah.
and saying, I want to buy something, but here's where I'm at. I
Yeah.
can help them get aligned with a lender that's
Yeah.
going to work with them and then restructure their situation where, okay, maybe in 6 months we can actually buy something.
Well, yeah, you got to help me
So.
restructure my. But the thing is like, there's a difference between restructuring, paying yourself more, and making your 1099 that you 1099 yourself or your business
W-2.
look like W-2. I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Restructuring too much, like.
Well, no, I mean restructure on paper.
Right.
So that's really what it
Oh.
is. But a lender that knows their job and has been doing this. I mean, I'm going to say like a lender that you can go back to like in 2007
Yeah.
that was doing some funky stuff but not getting caught.
Yeah.
might be the kind of person you want to talk to
Yeah.
because they know how to structure things legally now.
Okay,
And so
great.
that might be who you might want to be talking to as somebody harken back to that
And you have
era.
someone like that,
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we'll talk.
I mean, all on the
So
up
you're
and up.
you're gonna help me out. Okay,
Yes.
great. Because that's all. That was really only our setback. We
Yeah.
have down payment set aside.
No, it's
we
great.
have like everything ready, but it's just kind of getting approved. I mean, it looks. I'm a businessman. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna put myself in a bad position.
Yeah.
But now that I have to buy a house, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
What do I need to do?
Exactly. So okay, that's super.
And then when
interesting
you
to me.
get the house, when you start looking for homes, then you're going to be negotiating them, and how that can be negotiated is another whole laundry list of things.
No,
So,
absolutely. And we were talking off camera about like,
Yeah.
it's funny, like if I worked with you in Fullerton or like Bray or whatever, North Orange County,
Yeah.
it would be a different conversation than if I didn't know you and like how we would kind of go into it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so interesting.
I mean, if I didn't know you, Ricky, I
It's
would have been
so
like,
funny.
okay, well, very professional. How are we going to do this? But it's easier when you know somebody. You can say, no, I've got you. Let's call my lender.
Which is
Let's
so
restructure it.
incredibly funny because that's how I started our like call because we're going to work together on some
Yeah.
stuff. And I was like, it's just so much easier that I know you. Here's what we do.
Yeah, here's what we do.
So funny.
It's nicer.
No, absolutely. And now
That's why you spend time getting to know everybody.
yeah, absolutely. Networking is
Right?
amazing, but the right kind of networking. We
Right.
talked already that just
Don't
like
wanna waste
exactly, beneficial, fun time. I think we met at Faster Fitness,
Yeah.
which is, working out's pinnacle of networking for me. I love that.
Right.
So,
which is something we both need to do all the time.
yeah, well, I mean,
We work out.
it's important for our like well-being, just generally speaking.
But it was like a fun hour for us, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we
had a good
joke,
time.
we
We joked
work
a lot.
out, we talk about how shitty it is that we have to be here at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m., whatever it was.
Yeah, working out.
So it was great.
It
But
was great.
okay, so North Orange County, I mean, you're like the queen of real estate in North Orange County. So for people that don't know Orange County, what is North Orange County? I know it's Fullerton, but
Yeah, North Orange County is just the north part of Orange County. So it's really separated between the two. And it's, Fullerton, Brea, Placentia, Yorba Linda, La Habra, Anaheim, Orange, that kind of area where it cuts off.
Yeah.
Like you start to go to Irvine and Mission Viejo, that's more south.
Okay,
So
got it.
north is all of that area, basically.
yeah. And how long have you been doing North Orange County? Or just real estate in general?
So real estate in general is 21 years. I started in West LA, which was awesome. Not really. I couldn't drive anywhere and park anywhere.
Yeah, West LA at that time.
Oh, it was crazy.
Just super scary.
It was, well, crazy only because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll figure it out. I'm kind of just jump in and figure it out type of person.
Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, well, I'm showing condos. That's where I started. I started showing condos. But when you show a condo, or, you know, like you want to go see a condo in West LA, or 4 of them, I'm literally showing you like 1 because I can't make it to the other 2 because we can't find parking. And that first one we go to, I'm not even certain I can find the unit because we're looking for the lock boxes, like 20 lock boxes on the gate, and then you're roaming around the complex looking for. So anyway, showing in LA.
Really quickly, what's one of your craziest stories from that part of your career? Because you're animated about it, so I can tell that there's a lot there.
So when I first started there, I got a listing in Elysian Park, which is near Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
And it was crazy. I took the listing. It was this beautiful British couple, and they had these kids. And the home was located on Altura Walk. So what it was there was no driveway. It shared an easement with a property at an adjoining lot.
Okay.
And it was at the very top of these steps, like a flight of steps called Altura Walk.
Okay.
So in order to access the home, I had to walk up these flight of steps and walk back down. Well, it was fine. I took the listing. It was great. I priced it right. I, did everything I thought I was supposed to be doing. Yeah. And I go to host my first open house. And I'm all dressed up and I'm doing my deal and like wearing my heels and have like all my J-Lo, jewelry on, and I'm ready to go. And I go up the steps, I do the open house. I get like 2 people. And this last person that came in around 4:00 was like this gentleman.
Yeah.
So I'm at first like not really sure, am I doing this right? Should I have somebody else here helping me?
Sure.
The gentleman is like, I'm a retired cop and you need to get out of here right now. And so it scared the shit out of me.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah. And I was like, what? Why? What? This is a really, really bad area and you need to get out of here. I'm going to walk down and I'm going to wait in my car. And so he showed me his badge and everything. Like I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of questioning him, right? So he says, I'm going to go down and I'm going to wait in the car, but I'm going to go down there specifically because there's a group of Chinese gangs at the bottom.
Oh my God. Just sitting there.
Just sitting there. And I was like, this is great. So I had like this little briefcase that was super hot looking. And I had my jewelry on and I had my J-Lo and I was all dressed up and like pimping it for my version of, 2002.
Yeah. Real estate you then. Yeah, absolutely.
And I close up the house really quickly and I start walking down the steps. And as I'm walking down, I'm like removing my jewelry. I'm taking I'm shoving everything in my pockets. And I'm like trying to mess up my hair, just look as shitty as possible.
Yeah, you're like trying to be unseen as much as, my gosh.
As I lose my hearing.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, I'm trying to literally like, just be, unseen as much as possible.
That is terrifying.
And I get down to the bottom and the bottom of the entire steps are lined with these Chinese gangs.
Oh no.
And I walk past them as quickly as possible thinking, please, 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 this is a really bad scene. A really bad scene. And I get straight into my car and the cop like flashes his lights and like, okay, you're good. Like, you got in the car, like now get the hell away.
Wow.
And I left and I actually finished that entire transaction, never going back to the house.
How did you do that?
Well, because I'm that good.
You're like, hey, I can't go back here. If you want to see it,
I said
here's a lockbox number.
Yeah, no, I mean, good thing we got, an offer right away and I negotiated and we got into escrow and we were pretty much done. But that was my first transaction. So first transaction, I got a listing, which is unheard of for a new agent.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And second was, I was involved in Chinese gangs.
And they were trying to potentially looking at you. Oh my gosh.
It was scary.
That is terrifying.
So that was my introduction, and I thought, well, if I can do this, you know what? I can do Orange County.
You can do anything. You can do it. I can easily do Orange County.
So anyway, we moved to Orange County, and shortly thereafter, we moved to Orange County, and when I got in the car and I got my first, buyers in the car, and I got the laundry list of houses they wanted to see. And I thought, there's no way we're going to hit 8 houses. Like, no way.
Not a chance.
No. And then I get him in the car.
Because you're used to LA.
Yeah. And I'm like, how are you guys doing? You know, chit chatting, tell him, you know, a little bit about myself. And, you know, we roll up to the first, you know, house, and I just like pull over to the curb and park. And I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
I can get right out of my car and park.
Yep.
Walked into the house. Lockbox is like nicely situated on the doorknob.
Yep.
Well, this is easy.
Yep. 8 houses later.
And 8 houses later.
You're like, I can do this.
I was like, that's an hour. Awesome. I can do
we're done.
this.
See you guys later. That's amazing. That is what a comparison, though. If you think
it's a
about
huge comparison.
trying to, because I know what you mean. Like LA is huge, and trying to go neighborhood to neighborhood is just
Forget it.
insane.
Yeah. So if you're an LA buyer and trying to see multiple properties, it's like
Good luck.
You
You can do
better
one a day.
time everything
One or
out.
2 a day. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're gonna, if you hit traffic in
Yeah.
any part of that, your day's gone.
So when I actually got to Orange County, I was like, this is a slam dunk.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Orange County, I'm here. Bring it.
No, absolutely. And so you've been working the Orange County area for 21 years. Well,
Yeah.
21 years. How long of that was in LA?
1 year.
Just the 1
so
year, okay.
just 1 year in LA, West LA, sold a few properties there, you know, a handful of properties, because when I got into the business, I started with an online brokerage called Zip.
Zip, okay.
And Zip is like one of the first online lead generation type companies. And so they just basically, you had a platform you logged
like
onto.
the first Zillow? Zillow #1?
Yeah, but like way cooler. And I'm not even sure why it went out of business.
Sure.
Because as an agent, you logged onto a platform, and then the algorithm or the text would send a certain amount of leads to the agent, and then you
cool.
had to work those leads. So
That's
you got
amazing.
like, maybe you got 10 leads a day, and you worked the shit out of them.
Absolutely. Why would you not?
And I would.
Yeah.
Like, my goal was to get them on the phone, hit them with emails.
Yep.
I mean, we were texting, but not like super texting back then.
No, for sure. Just like, it's different now.
Yeah.
But you paid for these leads. Yeah. I bet it
No,
was,
they
you-
sent them.
Well,
I was
you
like
didn't pay for 'em?
salary based.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like a salary based agent. And
Was it
so,
a good salary?
I mean, yeah. What do you know? I just started. So I was like,
yeah, anything's good to you.
whatever, this
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
And then the more you work the leads, you know, if you're a closer, which I was,
Sure.
they handed me a ton more leads. So I was able to just work
You just
leads,
nailed it.
leads. Yeah,
Build
I
that
nailed it.
Repetitions in your first couple
I
years.
mean, yeah, follow up for me is second nature. So that's awesome. And then, you know, I just nailed working there, and then you kind of reach a ceiling. So
you moved on.
it was salary and commission, but it was
Sure.
a great company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder, I bet it was acquired by something or someone.
I mean, I think they might still be around, but yeah, they just never blew up the way, because they took on agents as salary, and I think it was, you know, not sustainable.
that business model probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably couldn't do it too long. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
But so in business for 21 years, and you sold 30 properties,
Well, the first year I sold
or
30
30
homes.
transactions. Was it with the Zip?
Zip.
But that's still insane.
Because I was a closer.
Yeah, because you were just like, we can do this.
Yeah.
Go in, walk through the process, and
Yep.
nail it. And you got
Yep.
paid for. And real estate schedule is pretty much your schedule. So
Well, yeah, and that, you know, if you're
if
selling
you're
that
getting
many
paid
homes,
salary and you're on your own schedule, that's a pretty sweet gig.
it was, but I quickly realized that that's like a full-time, that's more than a full-time job.
No, for sure.
I was like, this is insane.
Well, to make the money you probably wanted to make, it was probably insane.
Well, I wasn't making the money I wanted to make selling those kind of
Sure.
homes, but I certainly had like a massive amount of experience right under my belt. But
Yeah, 100%.
that's because I aligned myself with like the top producer.
Oh, well, that's the smartest thing you could do. Like join a good team.
I mean, I literally went up to the top producer. We were all independent because there were no teams back then.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going
No
to
teams back then.
No teams
When
back
did
then.
teams start then?
I mean, at least not for that company.
No,
There were
understood.
no
Like
teams.
that, you're probably right though. There probably wasn't that concept yet.
Yeah.
Like what is
I mean,
that?
there probably was, but more in the independent brokerages
sure,
that
for
I
sure.
wasn't
Okay,
part
gotcha,
of really.
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
I was just doing this. And I just told her, look, you're a top producer. I'm gonna shadow you. You're not gonna get rid of me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn everything about you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it my way. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many total transactions in your career? Because 30 in 1 year tells me you probably have.
I actually I should count that. I have no idea.
Really?
I really haven't.
Do you have like
No.
an average per year that you know?
I
or-
mean, it depends because I I did a lot during all the different phases of real estate, like different, the different markets
you had mentioned
of real
that.
estate.
There was like the shorts, the flips, the foreclosures, and all that stuff, which we'll get into. But so it's just different types of transactions.
Yeah, so different ones. Like when I was in my, flip stages, I did very few because I was flipping them myself. So, it was like, it's just different. It's a different, market.
Yeah. Well, tell me this though, because 21 years. So, I work with a lot of real estate agents.
You do.
But I'd say the normal amount of time is 8 years. I find that
you mean
8
people
years,
get out of it after
no,
8
in
years?
business for 8
Oh,
years.
okay.
When they get to us, or like when I see that the agents on the rise and they can afford to work with us, all that fun stuff. 8 years is about where it's at. So they're like starting to kick at 8 years. So you've been in it almost 3 times longer than that, which is insane.
And I'd say I kicked ass early on.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what
early.
do you think? Because success leaves clues. What did you do other than being a natural closer? What did you do to be in business so long? Because I think that kind of career some people can only dream of.
That's sweet. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I know, that's sweet.
What did you do to get there? Because some people are like how do I do that?
How do we do that?
Yeah.
Gosh, well, I will say I didn't do everything right. And I didn't market right from the very beginning, which I tell everybody, you got to market right, you got to market right. But what I did is probably moved really successfully when the market changed. So I moved when the market moved. So I restructured how I was going to do business when the market restructured.
Yeah.
And so that's probably my only, that and massive perseverance. And I have a ton of balls. Like that helps.
No, absolutely.
that makes what, I did. That's how I was successful.
So just perseverance and
moving with
a
the
little bit
market.
of foresight. I would say it's more you're not reacting to the market. You're or not. It's what did they say? It's like a therapy term.
Yeah,
don't react. You're responding.
Responding. I responded really well to the market.
Yeah. So you're like, it's gonna go this way.
Yes.
It's gonna go. So like then when we look at your career from a bird's eye view, it makes sense that like, okay, you were doing shorts for a while.
Yeah.
So you always. Market shifted. You're like, oh God, 2008.
Well, the market shifted, and then I went straight a foreclosure broker who is super awesome. He recruited me,
right,
and said, "I love the way you and I transacted. It was a great, smooth transaction. You're very smart. Will you come work for me? I'm opening up my own brokerage in Brea." Yeah. And I said, absolutely.
You got it.
I'm going to be your number one buyer's agent. This is how it's going to work. You're going to get all the listings from the bank, and I'm going to sell them all.
And this was on the foreclosures?
This was foreclosures.
Was this, so now, do you have crazy stories in this realm too?
That was, that was the best time. That was the best time because it was the best group of people, and and all the properties were coming from the banks. They're all distressed properties. So you learn how to sell distressed properties. You learn how to work those buyers.
Right.
Yeah. It was a different and fun time.
So just for let's just say the person that knows nothing about real estate, distress means, what is a distressed property?
A really rundown.
Just janky ass. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
You might not have flooring, or holes in the walls, or, just really somebody lost their house. They couldn't make their payments. So what happens when they can't make their payments? They stop keeping up the house, right? So you stop pouring money into the home, and then it just goes downhill from there.
So are they they stop making their payments, and then there's probably how long of a time before they get booted?
There's a default period, right? So you have the default, and then 90 days after, usually there's an NOD filed. I think it's 120 days after the default.
Okay.
And then you basically, the bank may start the foreclosure process. They may halt that process for a little bit. It just kind of depends on the bank. But
have you ever sold a house and then someone's still half living there?
Yes.
So walk me through that situation.
So then the sheriffs have to come and do a lockout, basically.
So you
or you sell a house and there's somebody just squatting. That's always been fun.
Oh God, California, gotta love it. So someone's squatting in the house.
Yeah,
and you're like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. And they say,
when you show homes, I'm still to this day, I do this, and I'm selling traditional homes, and people are like lovely homes now, right?
Yeah.
But it's like PTSD for me, because I would knock on the door during the foreclosure days and open it and scream out my name, scream out the brokerage I'm from, and say, I'm here, just trying to scare anybody who might be in the house. And so to this day, I kind of still do that. Jennifer Gellas, Jag Realty.
Have you run into anything lately?
Oh, no, not lately.
Okay.
Lately, it's all just beautiful homes.
Yeah.
But this was back in foreclosure days where I
No,
was just
absolutely.
like, oh, I don't know what I'm walking in on.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
So did you ever like feel the need to bring like protection with you, like a taser or something? Like I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I think somebody gave me a knife. Like this was this was just the fun days
someone
where
gave me a
I
knife.
think like an escrow officer gave me a knife, or maybe she was like, I don't know. Somebody from the office was like, "You're going out there, you're too, cute, and
Sure.
you got to protect yourself."
Right.
And she gave me some like, I'm gonna say like big ass pocket
Oh,
knife.
shit. Okay,
But
that's
she
cool.
might have been into S&M, so that might have been.
She
that
was
might
into some
have
crazy ass shit.
I don't-
That's so funny.
Whatever, but it was awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. That's
Thank you
really
so
cool.
much.
So that was your foreclosure days. Now talk to me
Yeah.
about the shorts days.
And then when the foreclosures dried up, so this is how I move with the market.
Yeah.
I just moved right into short sales, and short sales were just brutal, awful. I had a really young child at the time, so I was trying to balance that with how do I work short sales? Let me learn everything about short sales, learned everything about it. I door knocked for short sales,
Yeah.
which is a whole other world, because I was door knocking for people that are not making their home payments.
So
are
this
being
is the
threatened.
pre-foreclosure period.
Yes.
You're like, hey, you're not going to be able to stay, so why don't we save something?
Yes. So if you're not going to stay and you want to negotiate this with the bank and it's not successful, let me help you sell your home so we can save on your credit score,
Yeah.
save you
Yeah.
from going into a full blast
Yeah.
foreclosure, which kills your credit.
Yeah.
So let me show you how to do that.
Right. And what
But-
was the response generally?
Well, the response was get the F my
Yeah,
property.
get away from me.
So, I mean, like literally doors slammed in your face, like get away. But I would consistently go back.
Which is sad because you're trying to help. Like you're not.
Right. So, like,
it
if
is
you-
beneficial for you, but
If
at
you
the same
slam
time,
the door in my face, Ricky, I would come back 7 days later and be like, hey, it's Jennifer again.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm here.
Have you reconsidered?
No joke. And that's how I got them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And
So
you did pretty well in that market as well.
I did very well in that market, but everybody hated me.
But it was painful.
Is painful
It's painful.
because the seller hates you, the buyer hates you because it's taking so long. The lenders hate you because it's taking so long. And you hate the bank because it's taking so long,
Right.
because short is not short.
But if we're
it's
taking a
long.
clue, because I asked your initial, like, how do you have a successful career? Sometimes you eat shit for a couple years. How long did that last for?
I mean, I didn't eat shit during that time, but I ate shit.
No, like you made money
mentally.
Yeah, but like you're eating. I mean, like you're in the trenches.
I
like,
think that was like a 3 or 4 year period.
Yeah. So when we're talking about kicking ass over 20 years in
Yeah.
a career, you
Yeah.
know, sometimes you're gonna have to do things you don't want to fucking do.
100%.
For example, I laughed with the other day when we were talking. I was like, well, in the beginning of my career, I literally just DM'd everyone, like everybody I knew. I was like, thanks for liking my video. I make videos. If you know anyone, send them my
I'm
way.
here.
Yeah, no one wants to do this
Yeah.
stuff, but like it's just necessary.
It's necessary.
You know, if you want to have a
Especially
career
now, I
that,
guess. Yeah.
if you want, and so that's really cool. So then,
Yeah.
so then talk to me about flips.
Flips
is
were fun.
such a polarizing.
fun.
I want to start with this.
That was fun.
You know, I have many clients or in the real estate world, more real estate clients than anything else. Flips is the most polarizing of all topics that I've talked about in real
Really?
estate, because some people absolutely fucking hate renovations.
Right.
Hate it. Some people love it.
Right.
Some people talk about how they almost got divorced with their husband or wife because of it.
Always.
Some people
Yeah.
were like
Because contractors suck.
they're like, yeah, exactly. They're like, I've heard, yeah, it's fun until you approach bankruptcy with the payments going out. It's like, oh my God, okay. So,
I mean,
talk to me about
flips are nerve wracking.
Yeah.
They're definitely nerve wracking. But I mean, that market was cool for me because I aligned with two. So I constantly make sure I'm aligning with the right people. So I
Absolutely.
aligned with two awesome.
Which is okay. So another tip: sometimes you're gonna eat it, and always it's who you align yourself with.
100%.
During the wars, who are you aligning yourself with?
100%.
The wars of business.
Yes.
Align yourself with the right people because that's gonna help. I love that.
And to this day, I'm great friends with all of these people.
That's amazing. See,
and,
that's
they love me and I love them, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You just have to be authentic. If you're authentic with people and you are there, they're there for you, you're there for them. It's just an amazing, seamless, beautiful relationship. But I aligned with these two flip brokers, basically.
Yeah.
Like that's all they did was
okay.
flips.
Okay.
And it was during like flip or flop days, like flip or flop when it first started.
Sure.
and Tarek and Christina.
Yeah.
So it was like all of those, and it was Tarek and Christina started in North OC.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually lived in Yorba Linda. Yeah. So anyway, it's a great time. It was a great time to get into that market, especially with these two guys, because they were just like hardcore, like nail it out, no shits. Like it was awesome. Like working with them was my speed, because I loved that like element of real estate where we're just going to buy a bunch of, properties that were distressed. And we're going to cookie cut them and basically, renovate them into these, 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses, and then flip them, put them back. But it was beautiful because we're renovating the neighborhood too.
Right. Yeah. You're like helping the whole situation.
We're helping the neighbors.
Now, were you?
I mean, it was great.
In that system, you were the agent. They were the in charge of flipping it. So they'd be like, "Hey, Jen, we're gonna flip this. You go sell it," or was it?
Yes, but it was more about. Here's what we're doing. They were doing all the flips. So I was, again, modeling myself and saying, okay, well, then I'm going to look for these distressed properties.
Right.
And then I'm going to, find investors to buy them cash.
Yep.
And I'm going to help the investor renovate the property. And then, so I was buying the house and selling the house.
Oh, cool.
So I was making two sides.
You were actually doing the flips.
I wasn't until I realized, like,
I could do it myself.
I can do it myself. Investors are a bunch of assholes. So
Yeah,
that's when I
enough, fair enough.
No, I mean, there were some good investors, but there were some really shady ones too.
No, it's all in all parts of business. There's good and bad.
Yeah.
Right?
So as soon as I could kind of, drum up enough money to start doing it myself, I started to do it myself.
Yep.
But then, you get a little bit creative, Ricky.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like the lending part. This is where the lending parts
that's what we're about
This
to
is what
talk
I'm
about
talking
after the
about.
show, yeah.
So even during the flip market, like you get creative. Maybe you do hard money loans. Maybe and you're timing it and you're making sure that you're making sure that the ROI makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's
So
what you're doing.
I want you to elaborate on this, but my understanding of at least smart mass producing of flipping, worst house, best neighborhood. If you predict that you can flip the house affordably and get it to appraise immediately to the standard of the neighborhood, you got a winner.
You have beautiful winner. But, keep in mind, you might be the first one in that neighborhood that you're now setting the price point.
So that's what you do. I mean, in a perfect world, it would be the other way.
Yes.
In a dog eat dog, got to make it happen world, it's that way.
So then you're convincing the appraiser that, no. I know the last home sold for.
Okay, walk me through convincing an appraiser, because the last I heard, it's pretty hard to convince an appraiser.
I mean, it is, but remember, this was years ago. So
different game. Different
game years ago, because when that flip market was happening, you basically are setting the price point. So you're setting that price point because all of us flippers were buying low, renovating, right? And then reselling at a higher price. So we're actually setting that higher price point.
So you're selling a vision to these appraisers.
100%.
You're like, look, I know this neighborhood shit, but we're going to do this one, and then all going to follow suit.
Come on inside, because let me show you all these beautiful renovations. And here's how much money we spent on them. And here's why I think the home should actually sell for $550.
Yeah.
And so you're convincing them.
Yeah.
Of
the future.
But
Did you then make that? Okay, so you convince them, get it, but then did you work the neighborhood? Like, okay,
Yes.
hey, here's what we did over here. We can do this,
Yeah, I mean, but these are people who want to stay in their houses. I'm not
Understood.
going to loan out my construction people.
But everyone's different. Everyone's in a different situation.
But, a lot of times they're in a different situation. Like maybe they're heading towards default. So you're trying to, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity if you think outside the box, like how you're going to hit things.
Right, exactly. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So thinking outside of the box, how long was your flipping stage? How long did that go for?
Not long enough.
Not long enough. You loved it.
You
loved it. Okay.
I loved those guys I worked with.
Yeah.
I loved flipping. It's just, just kind of an easier market because you're not worrying about the buyer who doesn't like the color of the paint in the house or the carpet.
Which is, is an easy, take care of it yourself. It's fine. Does the bones work? Does the neighborhood work? Is it by the school you need? Okay, cool. Paint it white when you move in.
Thank you.
Please and thank you. Yeah, God, God, people are People certainly
past
are
this?
people, right? Yeah.
But it does help. I mean, my experience there moving back into traditional was helpful because then I walk into a house and I'm like, okay, if that wall goes down, then this is a perfect vision for my buyers because they can have their open floor plan. And here's how we can do that. Let me get the contractor over, show them how we can tear down this wall and get them into the home of their dreams that they don't actually think is happening when they're walking in. So that area of my real estate experience has really helped me move to this part of my real estate experience.
No, absolutely. Now let's talk about present day. Where are you at? Because you've lived a few lifetimes in this, and you've kicked ass.
I know.
21 years in business. So to recap, it's be intuitive with the market and act accordingly. Don't sit back and think everything's okay. You've got to go where the market's going. Would be one. Aligning yourself with excellent people, two. You are one of those excellent people. So if anyone's listening in North Orange County and they're like, oh, I need to align. Here you go. Reach out. Holler at her. So aligning with good people, being intuitive. You're going to need to eat sometimes. Just face it. And those would be what I hear. Those are the 3 tips to have a 20-year length.
Persevere. I mean, don't stop. Too many people stop at what they are doing because it's now not working. The real estate market isn't working. We'll figure out why it's not working.
It's funny.
And figure out how to make it work.
Yeah. We're in one of the worst real estate markets right now.
I
give air quotes. I know because
I just love that everybody keeps saying
are doing
that.
it. Yeah. All of our clients are killing it.
Yeah, we're not in the people here's the funny thing. Everybody's we're in the worst real estate market. No.
But why are they saying that?
Because the interest rate.
Yeah.
So if you really look at and analyze analyze the interest rate.
Right.
Back in 2000, when the real estate, when I got into the real estate market, when I got in the real estate market in 2002, the interest rate was the 5%.
Okay.
5-6%.
Sure.
So it's similar, not far off from where we are today.
But
people were buying. No, people were buying. I mean, I sold 30 homes my first year.
But do you
people
think
were buying?
People got spoiled in 2020?
100%.
Okay.
People's mindset is this interest rate needs to be at 2 or 3%, max.
I think all these is it a fair weathered? Am I saying that right? When it's only when things are good, I'm in it.
Right.
I think all these fair weathered agents got into the industry then, did okay. And we're and now it's
that's a whole other topic.
But
Ricky.
I think that's what it was.
I think the real estate
market
test
was
needs to be
so
harder.
hot. The market was so hot that everybody's grandmother's niece could get in there and do it and sell a house or two in 3 months.
Yeah.
And now
when it's a little bit harder,
and you actually need to be established in a market and have good business acumen and have treated people right, and people just don't have that. They've been doing real estate for 3 months.
Well, you need to align with the right agent who can put you onto the right lender, who can find you the right loan package, and then you go back to the right agent who can negotiate the right house.
If you help me do that in this next year, it would have I've been working at it for 3 years, but I had solved the problem in 1 year with the knowledge that we would have worked out.
100%.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
And I think the audience probably can hear between the lines there. If someone knows what they're doing, they're going to be able to help you quicker than someone who doesn't.
100%.
And that's okay if you work with someone.
Yeah.
If you want to work with your aunt's brother,
it's fine. No one's going to stop you.
Right.
But are you going to get the right negotiation?
Right.
Does your aunt's brother know all the loopholes in the contract? I mean, I do. It's very different.
And I use aunt's brother as it's
true.
your uncle at that point.
Yeah.
I realized that later. I was like, I sound really dumb. But no, totally. So I completely understand. So sorry, now back to where you are. Where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I totally don't know.
I don't know.
No, I'm back to traditional real estate, selling homes, and we do it differently now. Now it's full blast staging and luxury looking properties and, drones and, now it's a totally different look and feel from when I started. And so, we're moving with that. We do that. We do whatever the home and the market requires.
Absolutely.
But,
which is what you've done your whole career.
Exactly. But I mean, for me, doing all of that is beautiful. I can stage the house, I can show it, I can do open houses, I can do, we can renovate it a little bit. We can do all these fun things. Yeah. But I like to think of somebody hiring me because they're hiring me for really the contracts and the negotiations.
Absolutely.
I look nice, but
you get in there and make it happen.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a little different.
I always say when you are the brokerage, you now are the casino.
Yeah.
So you're I need to become the casino.
So when I was done with flips, I was we're going back to traditional. I don't like I can sit here with these guys and it's fine, but I kind of want to do it a little bit differently. So I went and got my broker's license and opened JAG.
And how long's that been?
I think I did that in 2016.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So JAG's been around for a while. And my intent was just to be me. Just JAG is me. Yeah. And I'm just going to, I'm 100%, the broker, 100% the agent.
You're everything and I'll be all right.
Yeah. But then what happened was, as I've always been mentoring young agents. So some of those young agents followed me. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I have some friends in the business and we have a lot of fun selling. So they followed me.
For sure.
And then it just became a really kind of fun, small brokerage, where, we're selling, but we're having fun.
Absolutely. And what's I think I know the answer, but I'm actually I would like to know more. What's the benefit? Say I got my license tomorrow and I was like, Jen, I want to join your team because I know there's some benefit. Can you just tell me what it is?
Well, you're going to get one-on-one hand-holding and mentorship from me.
What does that mean, though?
It literally means this. Like, you're calling me at 8 p.m. at night because your client wants to see a house or you're in the middle of a contract. Like, you're over with me and I'm walking you through everything. And we're, looking through all the contracts. I'm showing you how to write an offer. I'm showing you how to, I'm literally telling you what to say to the agent to negotiate the offer.
Yeah.
It's a one-on-one hand-holding situation with me because that's just all I do. When I mentor young agents, I mentor them with okay, you're going to, because that's what I did when I learned. And I felt like that's the best learning, is to be sitting next to somebody, shadowing that person and doing what they do with your own spin.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think in business myself, that's one of the key takeaways of myself in the last 18 months is that I am a incredibly good worker, but I need handholding when it comes to doing the next thing. I'm not someone that can be given an idea and run with it. Yeah, I almost need someone to tell me that, hey, look, I did this. I think you could do it. It's okay. And as soon as that light bulb turns on, holy shit, watch out, because it's going down.
Or you see them do it, and you're like, oh, okay, I can do it, but then I'll twist it this way.
Exactly. Yeah. Show me something. Yeah. So I think that's the value of that is if 100%. You're new, and you have no idea what you're doing.
Well, if you're new and you go to a brokerage, and usually they're going to give you okay, come sit on these classes. Sure. But you can do all of that, and that's great experience or knowledge. But you can't quite understand what to do unless you are in the field doing it. Yeah. Literally doing it with somebody.
Yeah. And they're doing it, and you're doing it with them, and they're learning.
Yeah, and it's fun to teach somebody. Obviously, that's, you're very, fulfilled to teach somebody something.
But it's a win-win too, because you're on your team. There's a monetary win for you, but there's also a massive learning curve that your people are skipping.
100%.
So that's incredible. Amazing. Off of business for a little bit. I know we connected over Joe Dispenza, and I know you mentioned it. So for the record, if you don't know who Joe Dispenza is, he's just the meditation guru. Manifestation, teaches you how to kind of change who you are to who you're becoming and all that stuff. I've read 3 of his books. I've done the meditations. I did the Breaking of the Habit of Being Yourself book and meditation for a year. So what's kind of where are you at? How's that been going? Are you loving it?
Loving it. Soulful peace is what I call it. No, I mean, my life kind of blew up a little bit in 2020. There was a lot of things that kind of led to some personal stuff that happened in 2021 to 2022 to 2023. Right. And as I kind of went through some personal stuff, a really close girlfriend with me actually helped me through some therapy stuff, and we aligned and got together and did a therapy retreat in Asheville, North Carolina. Okay. With a doctor that ran this, kind of how to rewrite your story. So how to rewrite your traumas in your life. Right. And it opened up a world for me that allowed for a ton of forgiveness and meditation. And so that's where the meditation started. And then thereafter, it was just self-exploration. And I started down a road of what do I want in my life? What do I not want? What are my non-negotiables? Things
you've never thought about in your life.
No, things you just kind of just, go through life doing, especially at my age.
It's emotions.
When you get this this old. You start figuring
Not
it
old.
out.
You're not old. It's forbidden to ask a woman what her age
No,
is.
you are not
I'm
allowed
not
to.
going to ask you, but I'm saying you're not old.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
When I say you're not old, and my follow up is, how old are you back? It's not. I'm not going to ask. So I totally understand that. And
But yeah.
so that first thing, you're like, hey, there's more to life here after that conference, and then
Yeah. And then just basically made some changes in my world in 2023.
Yeah.
And I think it's been amazing. It's opened up my eyes to a lot of what I do want and what I don't want. And, I mean, I've got 30, 40 years left on this earth. Like, what am I going to do with it?
Absolutely.
And then, really leaning in on the meditation and finding, a new vision for yourself.
Yeah.
Is what Dispenza is all about. And it's been amazing. Like
Yeah.
the synchronicities that have been happening in my world
Absolutely.
are insane.
Absolutely.
And all positive. Like none of this is negative stuff.
Right.
And
Well, because when you
I
do your
love it.
meditation, you're literally imagining you're trying to actually feel your perfect life.
Yeah, you're feeling your perfect life. You're envisioning your perfect life, and you're in that meditation actually living it. So it's almost like it's kind of like a drug where you just want to keep getting back there.
Yeah. So here's like the bad. So if you don't know, here's like my really shitty summation of it all.
Mm-hmm.
In the fourth dimension, outside of our real life talking, you can bend time to get closer to it because time is just kind of this thing. And if you can feel it more, the more you feel it, the more you're kind of bending space and time and getting closer to it and becoming. Because basically, I mean, Joe Dispenza believes you can pray for your younger self and heal the younger version of you as a better way to get better in the present. So closing all time and space to get what you want.
Right.
So when she's doing her meditations, when I did my meditations, we're trying to feel the things that we're trying to get to so that
Right.
we're like more one with them.
Right.
And then the synchronicities are the things you've been meditating about coming closer. All
Coming
those spiritual
closer and
happenings. So-
closer and closer. Yeah. So when you start to pay attention in your world about the synchronicities, it starts to clue you in.
Right.
Clue you into, oh my gosh, I'm actually getting closer to the reality I want. The reality I want.
Absolutely.
So it's been very calming for me personally, and life altering at the same time. Scary at times.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is all.
I would say
huge-
it's all scary.
It's all scary. This is huge stuff, like super huge, to be venturing in on things that are blowing up your world, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm super excited about where my world's going to go.
Absolutely.
Like what part of that is going to be amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Question for you. When do you do your meditations? You do them in the morning?
So I do them in the morning and at night.
You do two a day?
So sometimes I do
Oh, no.
two a day.
Either one or the other.
Either one or the other, but sometimes I do two a day.
Nice.
Sometimes it could be like mid-morning,
Okay.
where I'm like, oh my gosh, the sun is just beautiful in my home. I'm going to
Yeah,
sit here
you're gonna
and
do
just,
it. You're gonna
do it. I'm going
Right.
to meditate.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely do it daily. Like it's a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, so I always kind of so when I was doing it, I was waking up at like 5, but I was still very young. I was 27.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
Well, I mean, people do it younger now, which is great, but I was
I
27,
know.
not sleeping enough.
Yeah.
So I was going to bed at probably like midnight, waking up at 5, doing the meditation,
Yeah.
like half asleep. I mean, it still works.
Still works.
But like, yeah, I'm always curious when people are doing it because like I was always kind of like half dream state, I'd have to fight because the fact of the matter is being half asleep is kind of what you're going for.
Right.
But you have to be in control enough to stay.
To
so
stay.
that's where I always dance that dance of like, I'm
Yeah.
too tired. No, come
but
back.
that subconscious is
Right.
where Dispenza really wants you.
for
So that's
sure.
like a beautiful state to be in because
Yeah, I was always confused about that because there's a fine line between just flat out asleep and then like
Well.
being like meditatively asleep, still in control and trying to find your
right.
thoughts.
But I think that's the sweet spot.
That
Like
is a
if you
sweet
can
spot.
find that, that's like the perfect meditation
No,
spot.
absolutely, absolutely. And Joe Dispenza's great. I know.
Yes.
I want to go to one of his live things. That would be-
that's my goal.
For
I wanna
this
go,
year, or-
Yeah, for this year. I want to go to one in September with
Where's
my
it? Where's
girlfriend.
it at? You know.
I think that one is in. It might be Nashville or it might be
Nashville would be sweet.
Atlanta.
That I've never been to Atlanta. I've never been to Nashville. I never been either.
Look, I would like to do the one on the beach. in
he does one.
Cancun.
Yeah, he does one in like,
Yeah, he does
like
one-
Tulum or
Yeah,
some
Tulum,
beautiful part of
I think.
Mexico. That would be awesome. I love
So
Tulum.
amazing.
Have you been to Tulum?
Yes.
Oh, I could love it there.
Yes.
God, I
right?
love it there.
I mean, anywhere. I love to travel.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
like my
Me too.
number one goal.
Nadia is the same way.
Just
we
travel.
we took the baby to New York
Yes, I saw
She
that.
was almost 6 months when we did it.
I love that.
It's just a tester. We're like, can we
do
take
this?
her on a plane?
You did a
be in
5-hour
hotel?
trip.
It worked.
That's
It worked.
awesome.
We'll definitely need to buy a third seat because I don't want to deal with anyone else in the row.
I
it's
know,
like so
right?
hard. That poor woman on the way back.
Oh,
She's like sleeping. I was like,
fine.
can you wake up? Yeah, but no, she was younger.
Oh, really?
I think young people don't understand. I
No,
didn't
they don't.
understand.
No,
I was
they
just like,
don't.
oh, f***ing baby, oh. There was a family of like 5 behind us, which was perfect. But
that helps.
on our row, that is hard.
Yeah.
But
But
yes,
good.
so we
I
want
mean,
to travel.
travel.
We want to travel. We're
Travel
going to
is-
Mexico next year for a wedding.
Yeah.
Um,
I do a ton of girls' trips.
yeah.
A ton.
Yeah, that's fun.
Actually, just did New York a
really?
couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were
Came
there
back.
for Thanksgiving.
Oh, we were there right after. Literally right after.
Hey,
yeah.
that was a storm though. Or no storm.
No,
Was it a
we
storm?
caught one day of rain, and then that was barely one day. Like the night we got there and
Yeah.
just did dinner, and that was fine. And
New York
then
is super fun.
It was amazing.
New York
yeah,
is
we
super
did.
fun.
We did e-biking through Central Park.
Oh, cool.
That was cool. It's fucking
Central
cold,
Park
but that was cool. It was
Central
cool.
Park, yeah. Central Park was cool. We took the baby out, so we're still learning all sorts of things. But the baby had mittens on. We had her all bundled up. We thought we were doing everything right, but she was slobbering all over her mittens, and it was cold. So
Yes,
her
it
hands
was.
got really cold, and I was
Aw.
like, no, and we didn't realize it. And I was like, no. I like grabbed her and was like,
Blowing on her hands.
I was like, let's get these warm. And I was freaking out.
It
That was my
scares
first
you.
like dad freak out.
Oh my gosh, having a new baby is the best.
Oh, yeah, it's
because
fun.
you freak out at everything.
Oh, yeah,
In
yeah.
retrospect, you're gonna look back and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe."
Yeah, but cold hands is scary.
But you
I
don't know any different, so you just freak out because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's just scary. You're responsible for this human.
Absolutely. Well, if you can believe it, it's been 45 minutes. It's our podcast. We did it.
This is awesome.